Welcome to episode 31 of the Dual Boot Diaries, the weekly podcast where two longtime Windows users learn to use Linux daily. Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Patrick Murray.
I'm your other host, Will, and we're not Linux experts.
Nope.
We're just here going through our experiences, sharing our experiences, talking through it. It's kind of like talk therapy.
It's like Linux therapy.
But for Linux.
Oh, we should have named the podcast Linux Therapy.
Look, it's episode 50, we can rebrand the whole thing to start over.
Perfect.
We're using Linux daily, and we're talking about it. And at the end of this, maybe we're going to delete some stuff from somebody's computer. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Or maybe based off what happened recently, it's just going to delete itself off your computer.
Well, look, I realized I got to encrypt my hard drive, and that's a whole, like this laptop, I should probably be encrypted. Anyway, the point is, this is episode 31. Welcome. Hello.
Yeah.
I closed my notes, unfortunately, there, so I'm going to have to open them up again.
Wow. Amateur hour.
Yeah, I know.
Well, before we start.
Yeah.
I realized last week we didn't really get into it too much.
The news of the week?
Yeah, that Microsoft has pledged
They've given it
to
up.
do better.
Yeah. They're throwing out their traditional plan of making each version of Windows a little bit worse than the one that came before. And they're going to try to make this one good again.
Okay. But I think they're scared. They're seeing us move to Linux.
I don't think that's it.
And they're like, oh, crap, Adam and Will, they're using Linux. We got to change things.
I think that's more of a, hey, their market forces at play. Apple released a $600 laptop, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, we can't keep poopifying the OS more. We've got to de-poopify a little bit before. Like, we boiled the frog too. It's like, so that's the thing. The trick of boiling frogs, right, is you got to turn up the heat just a little bit at a time.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and they went straight to 11 with this last one.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, but it's been a mess. Everybody knows. Like, normal people are noticing. That has to be their warning sign,
right? And not the Facebook Neo, the MacBook Neo came out too.
Don't buy the Facebook Neo.
Yeah, I think the MacBook Neo also is just like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, the stuff that they talked about changing is generally good, right? They talked about doing things like making the start menu fast, making UI elements more responsive.
Yeah.
Getting Copilot out of places where you don't need Copilot.
As my colleague, one Elena Yee would say, who's literally sitting at the table with us, that's table stakes.
Yeah, spakes.
Like good old table stakes.
Yeah, I look, here's the thing. They have a long history of doing things to make Windows worse, and then they say that they're going to make them better, and that they're really good at the first part of that, and less good at the second part of it. So we'll see how this goes. Like, I think we should do. Fingers. I think at the end of the year we should do like a, hey, how did Microsoft do with their uneffing up Windows report card?
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah. I
mean, if they do so good, maybe I'll just ditch Linux. Yeah, I'll go back and be like, fine.
Well,
or what if they get closer to Linux like experience?
Okay, so I looked at some of those tiling window managers for Windows last week after we talked about it with Mikey.
Spoilers.
Yeah, and I'm not feeling it.
Oh, really? Why? Just the implementation, or?
It has the traditional
janky
Windows problem where you replace some core part of the OS that Microsoft doesn't expect to be replaced, where things are a little weird after you do that. Oh. But I'll keep looking. I looked at Swish, maybe, I think is the one I spent the most time with. I don't know. Anyway, probably not for me. It doesn't solve the problem necessarily. Linux is still pretty good in my book, despite some hiccups that we'll talk about here in a little bit.
You know what else is good? Fedora.
You love a hat.
I actually did try to find a Fedora branded fedora, and I couldn't find it.
No.
There's actual Red Hat branded Red Hats.
Really?
For sale, but not Fedora branded fedoras. Yeah, so marketing opportunity.
Do you think Red Hat is a reference to the black hat, white hat, gray hat thing? Or do you think it's something else?
That's what I always assumed.
It's like the Red Wedding for Linux installs.
I don't get that reference.
It's a Game of Thrones thing where they murdered everybody.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let's have a nice party for everybody, and also we're going to kill all of our enemies here.
That's probably where they got it from.
I assume that's where they got it from, yeah.
I do just want to quickly point out that there was a cool article from How to Geek that popped up on my feed recently called Fedora quietly solved Linux's update problem.
Oh.
And I was like, hey.
Thank goodness I just had an update problem. Yeah. I love that.
I use Linux, or I use Fedora. I want to know how it works. So Unfortunately, I don't fully understand, but here we go. I'm going to quote the article. Quote, for its standard workstation, Fedora championed the implementation of System D offline updates. Instead of overwriting files while the desktop environment is running, the system simply downloads the necessary packages in the background. The actual installation occurs in a minimal isolated environment during the next system reboot, end quote.
So they have like a snapshot. So they make a future snapshot, put the updates in the snapshot, and then next time you reboot, you go to the next snapshot. That's clever.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's my assumption.
It's one of the reasons why I picked Fedora, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm forward thinking like that.
Look, I like the snapshots and I like the rollbacks. I haven't thought about rolling forward, but maybe that's the future.
Is rolling forward just an update?
Well, that's what you're doing.
What?
You're making a snapshot of a snapshot of the hard drive as it is, installing the updates in that snapshot, and then the next time you boot, switching to that snapshot is what it sounds like from a one paragraph. But like look, snapshots are one of the things that Linux has going for it. Honestly, like it's the solution to a lot of the problems that you can create for yourself as a Linux user. But it's also like a safety net, right? Like it's a thing that we don't like. If I have a bad Windows update, my options are restore from backup or reinstall Windows, right? It's kind of if you get your system into a bad state with a bad update, like you reboot at the wrong time, the power goes out, whatever it happens to be, there's no easy way to roll that back if the stuff built into Windows doesn't work, which it often doesn't if you get into that bad place anyway. So having a thing at the file system level that just says, oh yeah, let me go back 3 days, that's really powerful.
Yeah, luckily I haven't had to use it.
Yeah. You should test it before it's important to use, though. That's my advice to you.
I remember I looked into it early on in our journey here. I have not. What's the thing?
You'd go into your boot manager typically, and you choose one of the most recent snapshots to
No. What was that third-party GUI that we talked about early on?
Time Machine?
No, Time Machine is Mac.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Look, man, we've done 31 episodes. Okay, I can't be expected to remember.
Anyway, there was some sort of tool. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah. This is an easy way to take a snapshot. Make sure you take
Snapper.
a snapshot." Snapper. Yeah, it's
built into a lot of distros. Do you have Snapper installed?
I don't.
It's probably just Snapper's the command line thing. There's probably some GUI interface that makes it look like Time Machine.
Oh, okay. Well, I will say Grub will list out major Fedora updates.
Grub and Lima. Oh, yeah. So it works in a similar way, but I think they're just doing the kernel stuff.
Yeah, it's only like major kernel versions where they create a new little entry.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Anyway.
Congratulations to Fedora users.
Yeah. Maybe you should have been on a Fedora recently.
Fine. Thank you, though.
No? Wow.
That's good.
Just throwing some shade. This is not Ubuntu.
I got no
Ubuntu.
beef with Fedora. I like your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're cool.
Yeah. I don't see any hats based off of your distro.
Look, every time I see an arch, I think of my computer.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Why not? I don't know.
All right. Well, what happened?
Yeah, you want me to go through my
I want to go through yours.
You have a big giant list this week.
Yeah, but I want to go through yours because I came in today, or you came in today, and you were immediately just like, oh, hey, something is real wrong. You were literally troubleshooting it live during the Full Nerd podcast.
Yeah, it wasn't great for the podcast, probably, in retrospect.
How could you? What happened? I got to know.
So, I came into the office this morning and I was setting up for the podcast, and you were on the OBS machine, so I was waiting to go set that stuff up. And I was like, oh, I haven't updated the laptop in a minute. Let me hit the Paru update. And I got error keyring is unwritable. And I was like, that's weird. I've never seen that one before.
As a notification?
It's just when you type Paru, it gives you some text, and like that popped up first. So I tried sudoing it and all the different stuff that you do, and it didn't work. And then we recorded the podcast, and then we got to part of the podcast I was kind of bored with, so I started futzing with it again.
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean no shade.
Wow.
I wasn't really bored, but anyway, I didn't have anything to say. So I wiped the keyring. There's in the Cache Hello app, the thing that that pops up when you first install Cache. There's been an option that I've seen. There's like unlock the Pacman database, which is what happens if Pacman crash. Pacman is the package updater, and it basically puts a file in a folder. And if that file's already there, you can't run multiple instances of Pacman. Like you don't want to run multiple instances of your package manager, so that Pacman lock file prevents you from doing that.
Oh, okay.
And if it crashes before it deletes it at the end of the process, then you have to manually delete it.
Oh.
That's what a lock file does.
Oh, okay.
The Paru thing I was getting was not that, because I initially thought it was that, and I hit the button to do that. Didn't fix the problem. Then I saw a button and there was like reset keyrings. So I was like, that seems like exactly what I need, because it seems like my keyrings are jacked up. I hit that button, didn't do anything. So then I started digging around, and I got to like Arch forums and Cache forums, and there was a whole bunch of stuff about deleting stuff in GPUPG, I think. I can't remember. One of the PGP libraries.
Okay.
GNU PG is what it was. GNU PG, which is the PGP GNU implementation of it.
Is this a bit you're trying to do?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No. And so I wiped that stuff out and recreated it from scratch using a bunch of cache keyring commands. That didn't do anything. And finally, I looked at it and I was like, oh, which key is having the problem? And it was something that's tied to a third-party app that I've installed a standalone repo for. And I was like, So I deleted that line from the package repo, downloaded the package repo, re-imported the key for that, and suddenly everything worked again.
Oh.
So it was a real voyage of discovery to do something that would have taken about 15 seconds if I had known what I was doing.
Well, but it didn't brick your system or anything.
It didn't brick the system.
Okay,
I could reboot.
You acted like something was horribly wrong.
Let me tell you, when I deleted all the keys that authenticate me with the Arch repos and the cache repos that I pull all the software for my computer from, I thought I was in mortal peril.
Oh, okay.
Like I was like, there's danger here. I'm about to do something I've seen in a cartoon, and it wasn't going to go well.
Like I feel like you were alluding to you might have to reinstall.
I was looking at it and thinking, oh, this is when it happens, but it wasn't. Everything's cool.
Yeah, you figured it out.
I do though. I realized the other day that I'm doing a lot more work that is proprietary, and I probably should think about full disk encryption for this laptop, especially after our conversation with Mikey last week.
Oh.
And
just in case somebody takes it?
Just in case I lose the laptop, I don't want to have that hanging over me, right? Like that's a violation. Probably I'm contractually obligated in some cases to have encrypted hard disks.
I mean, that's only if you're under a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to have a contract you get paid put out on the table.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking about how to do that and whether that's like I've been running this for 4 months now, probably since before the holidays.
Oh, yeah. When did you switch over to that?
It was when I got tired of trying to get the webcam on that Dell to work, if I recall.
Huh.
So it's been a while. It's probably worth taking what I've learned and starting anew. But also, if I could just do the encryption on the device and not have to worry about it, that would be nice without having to, But I'd much rather do that probably than have to do a clean install because this is working nicely for me. I got Hibernate working.
Cool.
Yeah, so I did
no more hot bags.
So last week, no more hot bags. Last week we talked about, I pulled the second stick of RAM out and went down to 16 gigs to see if it was the size of the swap file that's embedded as a sub-volume in my main Btrfs partition. It was not. So then I resized the Btrfs partition and made a standalone traditional swap file. So now I have like 64 gigs of swap space because I didn't get rid of the sub volume. I don't know how to do that. I don't care.
You weren't going to do anything else with it.
No, it's fine. And Hibernate just works. And I thought that it was hanging on the restore, but then I did a system update, and all of a sudden it just just started working.
An update.
And it's restoring and everything.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. So that's
solved
nice.
it.
Yeah, solved the problem.
Nailed it.
I've got a weird problem with some games. I noticed I showed you this earlier.
Yeah.
So I was playing mostly indies. The first one is called Glyphica Typing Survival.
It's actually pretty cool.
It's a great game. Really good. Like we talked about it in the tech pod a little bit, but it's like got a beige aesthetic that's really great. It reminds me of that old iOS and Android game Prune from like the dawn of the smartphone era, where you had to like make the little slashes to cut the branches off the tree to get the tree to grow in or out of the light or whatever.
Like Fruit Ninja.
Slower than that, more like chill Fruit Ninja.
Okay.
It's a almost meditative. Like it's a pretty chill game. But Glyphica is great. It's a typing game, and you have to type as like little guys your guy is in the center of the screen, and the words are coming at you with like different types of ships, and you type to get rid of the ship to shoot at the ships, and it's fun. The problem is Windows, fine, full screen, whatever. Linux can't make it full screen no matter what I do, and I don't know why it is. My guess is it's not using. I don't think it's a Unity game. I think it's like FNA or something weird. Maybe something wholly original. I've tried a bunch of different kinds of Proton. I haven't gone through the whole. I'm setting up a game scope frame for this game because it seems a little ridiculous.
Well, I was going to ask you specific questions about this, but you kind of alluded to the fact that this is happening with other games as well. So
I've had it happen with a couple of mostly 2D indie games. So the other one is the other one that pops to mind is The Last Starship, which is like what if you could play FTL but design your own spaceship kind of game. Mm-hmm. So it's all 2D art, and it only lives in the bottom corner of the screen, no matter what I do.
Okay,
it's like tiling into a 1080p section of the desktop. Now, Glyphica, if I hit my Windows C, which is my center. Super C. Yeah, Super C. Sorry. Apologies.
Wow.
My bad. If I hit Super C, then it centers it up nicely in the window, but it still has like desktop around it, which is weird. Last Starship doesn't care. It's always in the lower left corner of the screen. And I don't have any idea why. So if people have thoughts about this, I would love them. I was kind of surprised because like Glyphica it's a typing game. Remember, this is important to note. It's a typing game. It has full Steam Deck support. It has the little green check mark and everything, so you can play it with the on-screen keyboard on the Steam Deck. Or I presume you'd probably do if you want to play that on the Steam Deck. Plug in a Bluetooth keyboard or a USB-C keyboard. But anyway,
so we can. I don't know where our list is, but we can check off. It's been X amount of days since you had an issue with Neri.
Look, man, Neri, the thing Homer Simpson said about alcohol being the cause of and solution to all of life's problems applies also to tiling window managers.
To Neri, okay.
Look, my problems are well-defined, and usually the nice thing about running the non-standard window manager is that I know where to look when there's a problem. Like first
everybody's
stop,
using it. Yeah.
Neri's probably jacked something up.
Yeah.
Another tiny Neri issue, which we don't need to like. Usually when you do an update in place in Linux, I don't have any of your fancy Fedora, I'm going to make a new snapshot and install into the snapshot and then reboot business. Normally, when I update in place, it just restarts the shell and it restarts Neri and all that stuff if that stuff gets updated as part of the update process. And then it throws a message at the end. It's like, yo, you should probably reboot. I've started seeing updates that don't actually say that don't say you should probably reboot. So that means like no kernel changes, no low-level driver stuff.
Like you're thinking that you do need to reboot and it's just not telling you?
No. No. Like you can often update and not have to reboot. It's fine.
Yeah.
The problem I'm seeing with this is that, and there's some like I don't know exactly what the combination is. I think it's when Quick Shell doesn't get updated. Quick Shell is kind of the API underpinnings, the software underpinnings for Noctalia, and the shell that runs all the like Windows Chrome and System OS stuff and all that. And I think there's some series of updates there that makes the Neri launcher, the Neri hotkey parser, lose connection with the shell. So when you do things like hit your super key and hit the space bar to open the launcher, just nothing happens. And the solve for that is log back out and log back in, and that fixes it pretty much every time.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like there's a weird state thing that happens after updates sometimes. It's not really a big deal. Like my guess is that there's probably some sort of configuration I can set up that will, after an update, just restart the whole desktop manager, like restart Neri, and then that'll restart Noctalia and so on and so forth down the line. But usually I just log out and log in and it solves, or reboot and it solves the problem.
I usually, anytime I get an update, even if it tells me I need to reboot, I usually just reboot anyway. Is that weird?
No, I don't think it's weird to follow instructions.
Is that just Windows? Well, no. Even when it doesn't tell me I need to reboot,
you just reboot spontaneously.
Not spontaneously. I just maybe I don't know. I guess I've always done that, even on the Windows side. Just like, oh hey, there's a major update. I'm just gonna reboot it anyway.
I like to push my luck. I like to live dangerously,
even on Windows.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, why not?
I mean, especially certain things like a GPU driver.
Yeah.
Even if they don't explicitly need you to reboot, I still reboot.
Often, like if I'm getting ready to do a stream, for example, and I get a GPU driver update, I will often install the driver update and then reboot before I start the stream because I'd rather do that before there's like 100 people watching than after because it's just dead screen and I have to vamp for a long time.
Yeah.
couple other things.
Yeah,
small things. On the Hibernate side, Noctalia added idle controls a few updates ago.
Okay.
So that you can control like what happens. Like it's stuff that you expect to be built into the OS that's kind of new to tiling window managers.
Yeah. Oh, I was about to say, yeah, like wouldn't this be a cachey thing?
Well, no, it's a window manager thing, and Neary doesn't have that stuff built in by default. So you can use a tool called Sway Idle, which is for another tiling window manager, but it's basically a thing that you set up a text config and it tells you, you turn off the screen after this much, you lock the system after this much, you suspend after this much, and so on. So I made a custom command to Hibernate after like 15 minutes. And I'll report back next week and tell you how that goes because the computer hasn't been unused long enough.
Noctalia specifically?
In Noctalia specifically.
Okay.
And the command is just systemd space Hibernate, which is the systemd command to Hibernate.
Mine's just built into Fedora.
That's nice. See, I understand, but I'm learning how systemd works because of this.
I'm definitely not learning how
No.
systemd works.
Last thing is, we talked about webcam control a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I saw that it had presets, and like when you open up the button, I don't know if I have it on this computer. I don't.
Nope.
When you open up the button, there's like a thing that lets you control the pan and tilt on my gimbal, on my webcam, which is mainly what I use it for. And then it had a series of buttons to the side that are numbered, which are very clearly in retrospect preset buttons.
Oh yeah.
But I never made the connection about how to save the preset onto one of those buttons. So I have like a wide shot preset and a narrow shot preset for different things that I do with the webcam.
Okay.
It's a life-changing.
Wait, but you have to trigger it through the GUI.
Yeah.
Or can you bind it to something?
I can bind it to a command, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
But I don't do it that much that it's necessary. So
okay.
yeah. That's it. That's what I got.
Nice.
Yeah. I do not understand. Somebody, I think Deotis a couple weeks ago said, "Hey, have you noticed your gaming setup is getting a little wobbly after time?" And I think I explicitly said, "No, not so much." And then everywhere I started looking, I started seeing wobbly gaming stuff, and I was like, "Deotis, you did this to me."
I planted the seed.
Yeah.
Just a little bit in the front of your mind.
Right there.
Yeah. And you're like, wait, is that an issue? Maybe they're right.
Yep. So okay, so that's what I got.
Okay. All right. I've got some big stuff. Are you ready for this?
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. Can I hit the air horn button?
No.
Okay.
It'll bake it into the file.
Okay. Yeah.
Last week, my buddy Mikey Dansiglio was on the show, and at the end, he issued a challenge. And I am not one to back away from a challenge.
No, except for that beaver nugget thing I asked you to do.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Coward.
Okay, I backed away from that one. But other than that, then yeah.
The first time I met you, you said, "My name's Adam Patrick Murray. I'm never afraid of a dare. I take every
dare me anything.
Any dare you give me, I will take." And like the first time I came up with something, you were like, "No, I'm not doing that one." I was like, "This is a dare of
but that
lies."
one was Anyway,
yeah.
So I went and found a stack of old computers we had around here.
Oh, that challenge.
The challenge was to use Linux on an old computer.
Yeah.
Because look at us fancy people sitting around with our really nice
Strix
laptops.
Halos.
Got chamfered edges.
Yeah.
Just
look, I can just pull some plastic
touch
off of mine.
screens, OLED.
But it's meant to come off. It's not because it's janky.
Yeah. Companies that started in the past 6 years.
Yeah.
Look at us highfalutin people. But one of the glories of Linux, as Mikey pointed out, is being able to repurpose old hardware.
Runs on anything, is what my understanding
runs on anything. So I went through the stack of laptops that we had to try to find one that I felt was a good candidate. I will say
you just found one? You didn't find two?
I mean, we can look again.
Okay.
But there were some laptops that I'm like, okay, this is old enough and good for that challenge, but it was physically
gross,
not in good condition.
Yeah,
it's like, ooh. Wow,
what
did somebody do to that laptop?
Yeah.
So I skipped over some of that stuff.
You don't want the like, you read about laptops for corporate environments, and then they talk about how they have drains under the keyboards that just funnel liquid out of the side vents.
I can show you. There's a ThinkPad over there that the keycaps are just worn down.
No,
I have never seen such worn laptop keycaps. Anyway, right here is what I picked up. This is a Lenovo ThinkPad.
Well, that's a nice laptop.
This is the model number is T440S. So
Okay.
fairly good condition. Like I think I dated it from around 2012.
It's a 2013 to
2013.
2014 fourth gen Intel Core processor Ultrabook.
Yeah. So like for a laptop that old and having been in corporate use to some degree, it's actually not
This
that bad.
person didn't use that computer very much.
Yeah. Like the touchpad is like barely has any of that worn down finger.
It's got the
grease in
shine on
middle.
the keys that says a lot of typing's been done.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as the other one.
Yeah,
that I was
no.
referencing.
And it has a VGA output, so that's nice. You got that going for you.
Yeah, so let me go over the specs. Like you said, this is a 14-inch 1080p panel, 60 hertz. So, we're rocking with power. Intel Core i5 4300U, which is a Haswell generation.
So it's 2 cores, 4 threads.
Two cores, 4 threads, baby.
Okay.
Now you're playing with power. And it boosts up to 2.9 gigahertz.
Whoa.
So
Whoa.
look at that. That's crazy.
Intel HD graphics. Wow.
Yeah, no discrete GPU.
No.
This one did seem to be upgraded at some point.
How much RAM?
So
Adam?
it's claiming to have 12 gigs of RAM.
That's the max it says it shipped with.
Yeah, and I haven't opened it up, but were 6 gig DIMMs common?
I think that this is
I bet it shipped with 8 and somebody else added 4.
So I'm going to tell you the other way.
Uh-oh.
It has 4 gigs soldered to the motherboard and one 204-pin SODIMM socket.
Oh.
So it's a 4 gig on the motherboard and 8 gigs on the SODIMM.
Interesting.
DDR3L.
So the base is 4 and then you could add 8
up to
8 later. Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you have the good one there.
Well, yeah, so I haven't cracked it open, but yeah, I'm going to surmise that somebody had installed that in here. It's got a 500 gig Hitachi 7200 RPM spinning disk hard drive.
You got to put an SSD in that thing, man. It's going to make you crazy.
We'll see. One thing that I forgot that some ThinkPads did in the past, I don't think they do much anymore, is it has not only a detachable battery here, it has 2 batteries.
It has the built-in battery.
Yeah,
and
so it
the
has a
detachable
built-in
one.
battery
Yeah.
and the detachable one. And when I got into the OS, it showed the 2 battery indicators, like charging, and I was just like,
Wow.
wait, what? 2 batteries? And Mikey was like, oh, yeah.
That's a Lenovo for you. So some of these had GeForce GT 730Ms as well.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any indication of unless the driver.
Did you install that would be the closed source driver probably.
Yeah, I get no, because it would list out in. I did LS PCI.
Yeah, you'd see it there.
I would have seen it there. I did not see it there. So, but yeah, this has got a VGA port, and I forgot that you had to have make sure to have room for the locking mechanisms. RJ45, 3 Type A ports, but I think these are only USB 2. It has a SIM card slot.
It could be 3 at that point. It could be 3.0.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A courageous headphone jack. The proprietary rectangular charger kind of thing. And a display port, like the old display port. Yeah, the small. I always think of this as like
a
Max.
Thunderbolt is what it looks like to me. Yeah.
And then whatever this card, I don't remember the name of
that
it.
A smart card?
Yeah, something for corporate use, like one of those little card slot kind of things.
Something you bring for your security arrangement. That's a fine laptop.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, this is in good condition.
12 gigabytes of Fury.
After charging it up, I did boot it up, and it did already have a Windows install on it.
Well, you could fix that.
It was Windows 8.
Oh, yeah.
Which was kind of funny to see. No, I just went in there because I wanted to see what the configuration was. So then I took it home. It charged it up.
Okay.
Made sure everything was nice. I do actually want to clean it. I wanted to leave it in the state just so you saw.
Finding the charger, I bet, was because when we looked for the old
actually had a
laptops,
couple.
oh, it was around. Okay.
Yeah, I was able to find a couple, so that was nice. So I did have to make my first decision of what distro I want to put on here.
Yeah, what'd you put on there?
I originally wanted to go Pop because I've been wanting to go back and check out the Cosmic desktop experience, and actually I did install it for a hot minute, and I was like, you know what? I want to try Fedora because I am so used to how it runs here that I'm gonna feel the difference. Right? With Pop, I might not feel the difference 1-to-1. Here, I know what Fedora is like on this system, so putting Fedora on there should be like a straight 1-to-1. Excuse me, it was at least my thought. So I put in my Ventoy, went into the live environment, did my usual testing suite. I played a video out of the speakers, make sure the left and right channel worked. They worked. The screen, no issues with the screen. Everything, brightness.
This is all in the live CD?
On the live boot, yeah.
Boot, yeah.
No dead pixels, no weird issues with the screen. So I was like, okay, cool. Connected to Wi-Fi, no issues. Even loaded up Cheese to check out the camera. No issues. And yeah, I went ahead and installed it on the system. Just how it was. I didn't upgrade to the SSD or anything like that. And then I was sitting there with a fresh install, ran update.
How long did
it
take to do the install?
It actually didn't take that long at all. Okay. I mean, I didn't sit there and watch it. It was kind of one of those ones where I started the process and came back. But I was expecting it to be taking a while. Yeah. And I came back... and it was ready, and I was like, okay, cool. I didn't time it. I should have timed it. And so I was sitting there with a fresh install of Fedora, and I was like, cool. Okay, I was moving around, busting around, and I mean, it is a little slower. It is a little laggier, depending. I will say the trackpad for like recognizing some of the swipe gestures takes just a hair second longer.
Kind of from that's from the beginning of the Ultrabook era, so it's like it's not a good time for Windows trackpads.
Yeah, I feel like that it's the trackpad, not Fedora itself, if I had to guess. But yeah, everything that I looked, it seemed like all the drivers were there. Everything was working perfectly, which is the best case scenario,
sounds good,
right?
Yeah.
So then I was sitting there. I was like, okay, cool. I want Fedora on this laptop that I have, the ProArt laptop, to look and act and feel just like the Fedora on my ThinkPad, my brand new ThinkPad.
So you're running it like 1024 by 768 over
here? No. I just mean like I've got all the stuff that I do on a fresh install and have configured, having the dock, I have the extra GNOME tweaks and things like that.
Yeah.
And so I looked up some tutorials of like how to migrate from a fresh install to another. Fedora's documentation didn't really have anything, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, except for something I'll get to in a second. And the first step, people were like, oh, you want to copy over your home folder assets, right? I ended up going through my home folder on this. I didn't really have anything. Like,
you don't have anything like the .config folder?
Well, I meant in terms of
files and
files.
Because you usually work off of an external drive for your files.
Well, that, and I've always been of the mindset, whether it's Linux or Windows or whatever, I try to keep the install as vanilla as possible, because if I lose something or if the system breaks or something shuts down, I don't lose anything.
That's why you save all your stuff in OneDrive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you either back up to the cloud or into a drive or a NAS. Like I barely ever have anything local. So I
that sun life.
Yeah. So I didn't have anything in the video file or folder, photos, downloads, anything like that.
Well,
that
but
I cared about bringing
the
over.
.config folder is where all your business is stored, all your prefs and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean there's that, but that's not everything, right? That's
there's
the
more, stuff other
so
places,
so there's that, and I was like, okay, well that's fairly easy for the most part to bring over. But then I started looking into bringing over apps. So there's got to be an easy way to bring over apps and have all the configurations for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing that I got pointed to just from Google searching was there's this thing called Fedora Kickstart, which is essentially like if I understand it correctly, it's like an installer, but it's not. What are those things that IT professionals use in deployments?
Like Vagrant and stuff like that.
I don't know.
Tools that it's basically a script that installs a whole bunch of software and then configures the environment to be the way you want it to be.
Yeah, so when you deploy it to 1,000 fleets, it's already got all the pre-installed IT software for your whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of thought it was like. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I was like, okay, well, that's not really what I need. I'm not deploying to a whole new thing, so I didn't do that. The next one was from I found it in the forums, and they had a recommendation of. Oh man, why did I find this? Like somebody was trying to back up everything, including their themes and stuff like that. And I found like some general information in there, but nothing that was like easy to act upon, at least for me.
I mean, the first response in that thread that you linked, I guess we can put in the show notes, is, hey, you could just take the Btrfs snapshot of your root file system from one PC to another. And I was like, wow, that is a bold choice. That's going to have some downstream consequences moving from different hardware to different hardware.
Yeah, so, and I bring this up because there is a lot of suggestions in there, including that one that you just mentioned, which is the first comment. And I'm sitting here reading, and I'm like, okay, but is that the best way to do it? Should I do it that way? I don't know. So I continue to Google. The next thing I found was this interesting website. What?
This thread has like, it's a real classic Linux help thread where there's like one person who's asking a question, then there's a bunch of people who are trying to give actionable help, and then there's a person who gives answers like, oh yeah, you can use any tool that can make a copy of your home directory to do that. And you're like, it's not helpful information, dude. Yes, we know that there are 35 different tools that will do that, but that's not actionable. Don't do that.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So I found this site from Daniel
This is what I would have
Wayne
recommended.
Armstrong,
Yeah.
right? So this is essentially generating a list of installed Fedora packages by using you're essentially printing out a list of the packages and putting it into a text file.
Yeah, so you're using pipes and DNF. What is it? Get installed? I don't use DNF, so I don't know. But
DNF list installed.
So that generates a list of all the packages that are installed. But the trick is that's going to install the ones that the OS that's going to list the ones that the OS installs too, which you don't need because they're already installed. So then you have a series of greps that filter out all of the things that are not things that you have installed. So it's going to filter out all the dependencies of the things you've installed. So it's just the list of things that you want, and then let it pull the dependencies based off of that list. And then it pipes it into
Fedora package.
It looks like a text file.
Yeah.
And then what do
you bring it over to the older one, or the newer laptop, essentially find that text package and install based off of that list.
So I've done the Paru/Pacman equivalent of this every single time I've switched laptops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Except for the one time that I messed up the laptop to the point that I couldn't get it to boot. And then I just did a clean install.
So the weird thing is, I like this little site. I will link to it down in the description because it's very easy to read, very easy to understand.
It puts the command in a copyable window. Yeah.
I did find a variation of this in many places.
Yeah.
That is essentially printing out a list of the apps.
I would consider this the way, there's ways you can screw this up. But if you do this and then copy your home folder over from one machine to the next, making sure you get the permissions right, you're going to have basically the same computer.
Well, I ran it.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Yeah.
I got the list, put it in on the new old machine, whatever you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
And I got an error saying missing propositional argument, quote, specs for command, quote, install. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what that means.
Well, you got a positional argument in the wrong.
And so
specs.
I tried to Google that, and I didn't find anything straightforward. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm going to do here?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask AI.
Wait, did you do this? Which error gave you this? The installing on the new laptop?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, so I was like, I didn't understand it. Missing propositional argument specs for command install. So there was something I needed to put in the install part that wasn't there. So
yeah, that's weird. I don't get that. But okay. Anyway.
So I went to the next best thing, and I was like, you know what? I could search for days and find 100 different variations of this thing.
Yeah.
I actually did do one of the other variations of the list. The problem with that one, so in some of them would print out a list and then it would have a bunch of digits behind it.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, you just got to go through and remove all the digits. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. One of them printed it out.
That's when you learned regex, by the way.
Oh.
You learn regular expressions, just strip those off.
There you go. Another one printed out the list, but it gave no commas. So it was all just mashed together, just words. Like the list was right there, no numbers or anything like that.
Great.
And I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. And that didn't work.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That was my next one. So I asked Gemini in Google and was like, okay, you know what? People have told me that that for looking to do things like this, step-by-step tutorialization, AI can be helpful. Some people say it can be helpful. So it told me to do essentially the same thing. DNF repo query user installed QF name, put it out to a text. New system, sudo DNF install, and then find that text file. Okay. So essentially, once again, a variation of the same thing. And I was like, okay, cool. But the problem I ran into there is that it listed out all the package names with no with
not
no comma.
A machine, like not a readable.
Yeah,
doesn't solve your problem.
Like when I ran that command, it just said, "Oh, I've got nothing to do."
Yeah,
like there's nothing here for me to do. So I was like, "Oh, okay, well that doesn't help me either." I did come across something called RDiff, and I feel like we've talked about this before, right? So this is essentially, from what I understand, is a simple backup tool. It's like a backup tool, essentially, that looks at something you have locally and then builds it back up.
We've talked about diffs before. We talked about meld and some stuff like that. I don't remember RDiff, but maybe we did. This is interesting, though.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, cool. But, I mean, and it is supported in Fedora. It has a sudo DNF install rdiff-backup.
Okay.
So it is in the DNF. So, but the problem, I had to stop there because I was like, okay, there is no clear. I cannot find no clear article, application, anything like that solves this issue. And then I was like, okay, well, at this point, I just want to talk to Will. What do you think?
I think you were on the right track with the Dwarmstrong stuff, and probably have something goofy wrong. Like, did you open up that Fedora package list text file and see what's in there?
Yes.
Is it just
just a list.
One thing on a line?
One thing per line. What, like one application
package name per line? And the package names, when you search for them, they're package names that exist?
Yes.
So,
So, yeah. I mean, we maybe we can mess around with it afterward, and you can kind of look at it. But it was like
I don't understand the error message you got. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
For command install. Yeah, I think there's something.
So if there's recommendations, let me know. That if there's a better way to do it. The other thing I read that maybe you can tell me is that this does not include Flatpaks.
That's fine though, because how many Flatpaks do you
I have a couple Flatpaks. Yeah.
So just look at the list.
Yeah.
So Flatpak list, and then Flatpak install, and then that list.
And then I
and you can do that. You can do that output to a file and do the same thing that way too.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing. Oh, are you using Bash on that? On the like, do you use Bash, or are you using Fish or Zish or something else? Because this could be a Bash thing. Open your terminal and type shell. I don't know how to tell that. Yeah, it's the same, right?
I don't know.
You're running Bash.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. This is weird.
I mean,
I would think this would just work.
Well,
I don't understand why this wouldn't work.
Like, I felt like this is something people have to do a lot, right?
Well, not that often.
No.
But like
hey, I have a new laptop. I'm moving to a new laptop.
That's like an every 5 years thing for most people. Not like, it's Tuesday.
I know, but like there's millions of people out there. I'm surprised nobody has this in a clear, easy. Oh, hey, this is the most clearest, easiest way I could find. But then when I ran into that issue, there was no FAQ. There was no.
The real solution is you just pull the SSD from the old one, jam it in the new one.
Well, no, I don't think this has.
Just take the MV out and put it in there. Yeah, it'll be fine.
So, and then my next step was, okay, do I really need all these applications?
Probably not.
I guess not. Or, I mean, and usually on a fresh Windows install, I'm going through and reinstalling applications anyway, because I like to kind of go through the list and be like, actually, do I need that?
So, that is the other side of this, is like, I have 15 different photo cam apps on my laptop because I was trying to see if one of them that used one of the different access levels for the webcam on that Dell. And do I need them? No, I don't need 8 forks of cheese on my computer, it turns out. So I got rid of them a few months ago. Like, the nice thing is that the Fedora packages list text file is really human readable if you know what the packages are. So you can just open it up and delete the stuff out of the list.
Yeah, actually, I have both here. This is the Fedora one.
Okay. PKG list is the one.
Oh, and then open nothing. Oh,
It looks like it's empty. There's nothing.
well,
in
maybe
there.
that's the issue. This is the other one with the numbers.
Oh, so that has the version numbers on
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that's the version numbers. Good call.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think
so
about
you
that.
don't actually want those
Yeah.
version numbers. But you could easily write a regex that just deletes the dash with
Okay,
the number following it.
So maybe that's the issue.
I
Maybe
think
this
the issue
contains
is that you
nothing.
didn't generate the package list.
Okay, well hold on. We can do this
do this live?
yeah,
Okay.
we'll do this live. Okay, let me find the link.
It's
in our notes.
it's in
Yeah.
the Notion. Yeah, there you go.
right,
Just grab that whole
so-
thing. Don't get the $sign.
Yeah, it's good to copy text from the internet, right?
Yeah, you only
when you
usually
don't know
have
what
to
it's
press
doing.
Control-C once is
Yeah.
the thing.
Okay, loading. Okay, so now we go back over here, and there's the file. Okay, well there's the problem.
So the problem
it writes to zero.
I figured it out.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So why is
then,
it writing
so
zero?
then troubleshoot this. Take that command in your terminal. Let's troubleshoot this live. So
Okay.
So what we did was we ran this command from this Daniel Wayne Armstrong website.
Yeah. DNF list
So try
installed.
just do one section at a time, because what the pipe is doing is say do this and then take the output from that and put it
Yeah.
into this. So go all the way back to DNF list installed and see if
Okay.
that works.
Like
Delete everything but that.
just everything.
Type DNF
Oh, okay.
list installed and then press enter.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Doesn't-
No matching packages to list. So that's weird. I wonder if the syntax on this changed since 2022-07-17.
Oh. So maybe there's a way
Type
to.
TLD DNF.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
So
That's
that's
everything now.
every DNF.
That's
so
all-
I just
okay.
did DNF list. That's literally everything in
Yeah,
the DNF.
so, okay. DNF, TLDR DNF. Type TLDR DNF.
Oh, it's dash installed.
Oh, there you go.
Let's try that. Oh, okay.
Okay, so now redo
Now,
your command with the
okay.
dash in there and see what happens.
I got it. Oh,
Nope, now you've
nope.
done it.
Oh, no.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Okay. Do I need to grep the dash there too?
No,
or no?
no,
Yeah.
because the grep is just going to search for installed
Okay.
here,
So it did nothing. Now I'm going to go back over here. Oh, hey!
and you have like
and
the
there
20
it
things
is.
that you have installed.
Oh, okay.
But it's way more than 20.
Oh, I got fonts.
So it has all the dependencies
I
too.
got GNOME.
So you need to find how to list
things.
the installed stuff that are not dependencies with DNF.
Oh my, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Like this was the thing that took me a long time on Paru, and I should have probably done a blog post about it so that then somebody else would find that
Right.
instead of
Yeah.
yeah. But so if you go to read the dnf.readthedocs.io, you get the DNF docs, and there is a command reference here that has a bazillion commands, including list, and then we can see. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you. So Paru gives you a list of the things that you've asked to install versus the thing that installed because they were dependencies or because they were part of the OS install.
Okay.
I wonder if there's a way to do that with DNF, and there may not be because DNF is relatively new. But anyway, this is homework. This sounds like homework to me.
Yeah. And once again, I mean, when I look over this stuff, there definitely is some things that I'm like, yeah, okay. But also, like,
You're seeing
Yeah.
all these VLC plugins are just downstream of installing VLC. So like they shouldn't.
yeah.
You shouldn't. You should let the dependency tree install those rather than you installing them manually when you move to the new machine.
which is pointing me again to maybe I should just do everything by hand.
I mean, that is the other like. Do you
Well,
have-
because I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in here for the virtualization. I'm definitely not going to run a virtual machine on
the Broadwell machine. No.
Yeah, on the Haswell.
Haswell.
Okay, sir.
Sorry,
Haswell.
apologies.
Yeah.
So like I can look in if I look see this has everything too. I don't know how to filter. I'm looking at my Octopi, which is my GUI front end for Pac-Man, the Arch depot. I don't know that I have a way to just pull out the stuff that I've manually installed.
So what would happen? I would install it twice.
Well, it'll reinstall. You can usually do a flag that'll say only install stuff that's not already here, right? So like you can.
Oh, which I think is it not in that syntax?
It's probably in there. No, you probably have to. Well, it depends on how DNF behaves. I don't know how DNF behaves. If DNF reinstalls everything, if you tell it to install stuff, it'll reinstall everything. If it's smart and only installs stuff that's not already there, it'll skip the stuff that's already installed. But the real answer to this problem is you want to trim down that package list to just be the stuff that you install, not all the dependencies. Because installing all the dependencies is going to have some weird downstream consequences, because then the package manager is going to think you want that stuff, not just that it's a dependency for something that you want.
Oh.
Because you want it, like, that's conceptual, as I understand it, and people are getting ready to yell at their radio.
I think they already are.
I'm out over my skis here a little bit. But my understanding is that the package manager, at least the Arch one that I'm using, understands the difference between something that you installed because it was a dependency of something else and something that you chose to install. Because like sometimes I'll get a note that says, hey, this software is asking for this instead of this. Do you want to uninstall this one you had uninstalled before and then install this new thing? And you say yes, and it does it, and it just works the next time you start. But as I understand it, that can only happen if it understands the difference between software you install and software that's installed because you asked for some other software to be installed. So anyway, also realistically, you're going to use this laptop for like 3 weeks, so it's probably fine. But like, yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. I mean, I think the other part too is that maybe it's better for me to install everything by hand, because then I can kind of layer things on and feel like, once I installed Slack, things really slowed down.
Yeah, Electron apps are going to be great on that dual core.
Yeah, Discord, right, is Electron?
Yeah. Like basically, look, I'm running 14 gigabytes of RAM right now with a browser with 20 tabs probably. Yeah, one screen of tabs, Octopi and 4 a Notion and an Electron app, Discord an Electron app, Slack an Electron app, Blue Bubbles not an Electron app, and I guess that's it.
Steam.
Steam. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say.
Yeah.
I did just manually install Chrome just to muck around in there and make sure everything was running fine. And other than the trackpad thing, it was pretty snappy.
Pretty good.
Like I was like, dang, this is not only is it snappy, I wasn't feeling any effects of like a slow SSD. I mean, obviously I'm not doing anything, but meaning like on boot and things like that, it is waking up from sleep.
Probably sleep and suspend and hibernate and all that stuff work great on the machine that old.
Actually, I don't have it on here, but I can turn it on.
Can you control the keyboard, like do the function keys work and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Not only that, I set up the fingerprint reader. The fingerprint reader worked.
Print D.
Well, I didn't do that. It's built into Fedora.
It just worked.
Yeah. So and it's one of those.
Is the thing that installs to make the fingerprint reader work.
And it's one of those fingerprints that you just kind of swipe on it, which
rub.
I never understood. But yeah. So the nub works, or the track point.
The nub. Yeah.
So it was cool.
It's a little bit slow booting. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not that bad.
I mean, it's pretty good for spinning Rust.
Yeah, and considering how old it is.
Yeah.
Also, this is taking a while, actually. I don't remember taking that long. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I got challenged, and I'm going to do
Positive experience.
So now we got to find you an old laptop.
Yeah, let's dig something out of the trash pile. Let's go.
We've got to see that stack over there. You can see that stack.
That's the pile that I can choose from. Oh boy.
I mean, I think we have some more too, but that was
charge off a
that
USB-C,
was some of the.
Or do I have to take a brick?
Yeah, you're gonna have to take a brick.
See, that's the worst part of this whole thing, is that right now I'm in my bedroom. I'm laying in bed. I'm doing some work.
Right now you're laying in bed.
No, I'm just saying. It's like sometimes I like to Hugh Hefner it. You know, I get on the jams and I lounge back and I spread all my stuff around me. Get the laptop and I just plug it into the USB-C there next to the nightstand. I'm in the living room. I have my comfy chair. I'm in my office. I have USB-C everywhere.
Yeah. How did we ever live in the before times?
It was awful.
Yeah. It was. No, but look, I'm in here. It's everything's.
That's snappy,
right?
Yeah,
it's snappy, especially for. Well, here's the other thing. A lot of people, I did read beforehand because I did Google a little bit of like, oh, hey, what distro should I put on something really old? And it's a lot of like, oh, you definitely want a lightweight distro. I don't. And Fedora was never listed as a lightweight distro.
It's not lightweight.
Yeah. But so I was a little worried that I was going to have an issue with this. But like I feel like it's not bad. There we go. Do you see that? How it kind of didn't swipe up? See that right there? It's not swiping. So I think that's the trackpad. But
yeah, it could be slow. You could put a mouse on it and hit a mouse keyboard shortcut for it and see if that's it. But I mean,
Oh, there's a little bit
if
of
we
lag
were
when
at
I
the
hit
flea
the
market,
super
this
key.
laptop would be under $200. I think at this dual core Haswell. Those are 150 to 250. I think is what my recollection is.
Well, here's the thing. You told me, or you recommended that I should put an SSD in there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I'm gonna try it on this.
I'm putting an SSD.
Also,
in mine.
I kind of want to take out the configuration that
You want to see what
mentioned.
4 gigs of RAM is like?
Yeah.
You want to live that life?
Because I did look at how much disk space a fresh install
Yeah, it's like
takes
3
up.
gigs probably.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, you've got 490 something out of 500, and I was like,
so that means you can take an ancient 128 gigabyte SSD, jam it in there, and be good to go.
I mean, you can go smaller than that.
Oh, I don't think I have.
I mean,
one
I don't
smaller
really,
than
I
that.
know, but I don't really hold stuff that's. But I was just like, dang, that's small.
Efficient.
Oh yeah, there's no way to actually. You know what? Fast Fetch will tell me how much.
You have Fast Fetch installed already?
I installed Fast. You have to install Fast Fetch. You know,
Wow.
it's just.
I mean, my distro ships with Fast Fetch.
Okay, now you can see all the.
Wow.
I was checking all the
There's a lot of
LSPCI.
LSBLKs there. There you go. You just went past it.
Did I? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, Fast Fetch. There we go. So it's right now on a fresh boot, not doing anything. It's using 1.63 gigs out of 11 gigs. So I bet I could get away with 4. Should I try 4?
I don't see any downside of this. I think it's going to be fantastic for
Yeah.
me either way.
Yeah. There you go. So yeah, there we go. I did it. I put it on some old hardware.
So
I
now,
saved that, and
look.
and for sure that laptop won't take Windows 11.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
4 gigs of RAM, that's a Windows 10 laptop right there. That'll run Windows 10. The next step is to figure out how to take the motherboard out of this laptop and put it in a nice laptop so you can do a sleeper build.
Okay, I don't know if
Maybe
it's
it's
worth
the
that.
other way. Maybe it's a reverse sleeper. But anyway.
Maybe take the framework out.
Yeah, and
and
put it in there.
uh,
And then, that's a bad idea too.
anyway.
But anyway.
Okay.
This is a fun experiment. I'm glad you found new excuses to install Linux. This is great.
Oh, crap. Maybe
your
that's
specialty.
why I was so excited, because I was like, oh, I get to
install Linux again. This is Mikey dragging you.
But yeah. So anyway, if anyone has any recommendations, or maybe can tell me why it is not well documented on how to move over installed applications, let me know.
I expect to see you use the ancient computer on the Full Nerd next week.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, to get up and running, like I said, the only thing that I am not going to be able to do on here, on the old one that I'm on, no, I shouldn't say old and new. This is the old one, the ProArt versus the ThinkPad.
The modern computer versus
there
the
we go. Thank you.
decrepit computer.
The only thing I do on the modern one that I'm not going to do here is I'm definitely not going to run the virtual machine.
Don't run the virtual
Like,
machine.
I'm not even going to try it.
Don't try to install Resolve.
I mean, I haven't really tried to put Resolve on
put
here.
Resolve
anyway.
on that machine. It'll fly on that thing.
Yeah. So, but other than that, what I mostly use it for, is browsing, Slack, Discord.
Yeah.
Like,
hit me up in
the
Discord.
basic stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think if I put Steam on here, do you think there'd be any games that would run?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like what? Peggle?
Yeah.
Balatro?
Yeah, Balatro will be fine.
You think so?
Yeah, you can probably play Slay the Spire.
Right? Really? On old Intel integrated
VVVV,
graphics?
that'll work. Like 2000, let's see, 2012 Haswell, man, that is crappy integrated graphics.
Right?
StarCraft will probably run real good.
Okay.
1, not 2.
Wait, can that play on Linux?
No, you'll have to run it in the emulator. But Blizzard games run on Linux usually.
Really?
Yeah, they're chill about copy protection or DRM stuff.
Yeah.
Probably can't play multiplayer.
Just curious.
Yeah, my guess is you're going to be limited to old 2D indie stuff, and like, I bet that thing lights the fire under. That's from the era when they were still like, "Hey man, we got this new laptop graphics chipset. You're going to love it. Quake 3, 200 frames a second." And we're like, "Dude, it
On
is
the laptop?
2012." Yeah, 2012. We're not talking about Quake 3 came out in 1999.
You think this will run Half-Life 2?
Yes, 100%.
You think so?
100%.
Half-Life 2 was what, 2004?
2004.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
This
like
is
10 years older.
Half-Life 2 is 100% a game that they would have been like, Guys, we're knocking it out of the park with Half-Life 2 numbers.
I mean, I love myself some Half-Life 2.
I mean, look, you can ride that boat as much as you want, but it's still like that'll run. Team Fortress 2, maybe? I don't know. 2008, probably.
Yeah.
It's too close.
Especially multiplayer stuff. Actually, is there built-in, is the anti-cheat support Linux?
Yeah, VAC support. Steam anti-cheat supports Linux because they ship Counter-Strike and Dota.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway,
yeah.
let's get to homework. Yes, I want to set up this computer more. The older computer, the Lenovo ThinkPad T440S. Get it all set up. Maybe I'll test out some games just to see. Also, I do wonder if maybe there are people screaming at their radios right now being like, oh, dude, if you installed an SSD in this thing, it would scream.
I'm going to install an SSD and whatever.
Well, but I think it goes against the spirit of it. Actually, no.
128 gigabyte SSD costs like $8.
You're right. Maybe that doesn't go against the spirit of it.
Yeah. Like, can we tune this thing up and make it good?
Like because if the whole thing is trying to get more life out of old hardware, maybe we do see. I put as much RAM as I could in there. So
even in today's terrible economy, 128 gigabyte King spec,
that's easy.
a well-known SSD brand,
I've heard of it, is
only $36.
It's a SATA 3, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Yeah.
That thing doesn't have an NVMe port.
No, it's SATA.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, SATA all the way.
Or you can upgrade to 240.
Too much. Don't need it.
Yeah.
Here's a Silicon Power, another great. Yeah,
40.
These are all.
Actually, I think I have Optane. I've got a really small Optane drive.
That's just incredibly stupid.
But yeah, okay.
Why not? Finally, I get to touch Optane.
I'm gonna put this out there. You let us know. Should we try to pare back the device as much as we can, or should we try to soup it up?
Look,
as much as we can.
We could get a 10-pack of Patriot P210 128 gigabyte SSDs for $330.
I think we should go in
that's,
at like
that's 12 terabytes of storage if my math is right. No, that's 1.2
we could
terabytes
resell
of
them for like $5 each more
at the flea market.
Yeah, and make more money.
Right.
That's how they work. It's capitalism.
$30. We sell it for 40.
Boom.
Cool cheddar in the pocket.
So yeah, I'm curious. Also,
I bet I have an M2 M2 SATA SSD at home. That's the right size for this, actually. That probably these will have.
Oh, you think so?
20. I feel like that was mid 2010s,
early
2010s.
I can open it up. Yeah, after we do this. So, yeah. Anyway, what are you gonna work
on? So I want to see if Hibernate's working on this framework.
Same.
I'm excited to find that out. I haven't let it sit for 15 minutes to tell. Lunch was fast today.
Don't touch it.
I wrote Will's classic computer on the list.
Yeah, and in mine you said Adam's Garbo computer.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just look. I'm just I'm not editorializing here.
Actually, do you have any old computers laying around that you're like, oh man, I used that back in the day?
I have my old MacBook Air from the tested launch days, which was like
back in the 90s,
2010, probably 2010 or 2011.
Okay,
Intel MacBook Air.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I might have put Chrome OS Flex on it though. I might have given it to the kiddo. I got to see. I'll investigate. I don't know.
You're the parent. You could take it from her.
I frowned upon. I don't know if I have a charger for that. Is the problem? I'll have to look.
Oh, it's MagSafe.
It's MagSafe. It's old MagSafe though, not new MagSafe.
I mean,
anyway,
but those were ubiquitous.
Yes, but not in my house. There were two.
Okay, I think we have them here.
Okay. Well, anyway, if you have a MagSafe charger, then maybe. I also have my Razer Blade, but it has a bunch of files on it that I want because it's from VR days. So I have a bunch of demo files and stuff like that from those times. So I'd have to pop the drive out and put a different drive in. And also that laptop kind of sucked on multiple fronts because it was like
I think you should do the Air, dude.
All the space that you normally put in for battery and that Razer Blade got put for GPU and cooling.
Oh.
So the battery is like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But the MacBook, the 14-inch MacBook is probably pretty compelling.
Also, because then you could use it here on the show or on the Full Nerd, and people can yell at you and be like, actually, Linux.
It has a bunch of good stickers on it too, like from back in the day.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Look, the reason you put stickers on your laptop is so when you're sitting in the cafe sipping lattes, somebody doesn't grab your laptop and run. You can identify. You'd be like, yeah. Do you tell me what that sticker is from? And you'd be like, no, it's from PythonCon.
PythonCon. Yeah.
PyCon is what it's called.
PyCon. It's not the 3.14.
PY, not PI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We missed Pi Day, by the way.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It happens every year.
Good talk.
There'll be another one. And then you've got one more thing. What is this? You don't want to commit to it? You don't have to bring it up.
I downloaded Nobara.
Yeah.
And I charged the battery on the Dell XPS 13, the Lunar Lake one.
And?
That's as far as I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do Nobara?
We talked about it a couple episodes ago, the week before Mikey was here. And I'm just generally curious about Nobara.
Yeah.
It seems
but it's mainly a gaming distro.
I like gaming.
Yeah.
Lunar Lake.
On that laptop?
Psh, it's got that XE graphics,
Just kidding.
I mean, if you want to Phantom Lake me or give me something with a discrete
Phantom
graphics,
Lake?
let's go.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's wrap up.
Your mom's a lake.
Wow. Wow. It's getting hot in here. Check back next week for your fix of Linux talk here on Dual Boot Diaries. If you want to watch us, you can subscribe to the Full Nerd Network over on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can see our faces and our lips move in real time, hopefully.
Ish. Yeah.
Ish. But we are now being fed into Spotify as a video option as well.
So all 8 of you over there can watch the Linux nerds talk on Spotify.
Yeah, please leave comments. Please, I get notifications when I get comments on Spotify.
Are they good?
Yeah. No, everyone's in support. It just I need to turn off that notification.
Yeah.
to get because I don't want to get something for every comment. But I do see the comments that are coming in right now. And that is fun.
Wow, even
and
as
I
we
appreciate it.
talk right now?
As we speak.
That's wild.
Actually, in Megaphone, it'll alert me up here. Check this out.
Oh, boy.
If I go to the home, here we are, Macworld Pod. Well, that's not our podcast, but,
good talk.
Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, if you want to listen to us, that's fine. That's allowed too. You can get the audio version anywhere the audio podcasts are, including Spotify. In Spotify, you can get both the audio and the video.
Everywhere else, it's just audio, except for YouTube, where it's only video.
And well, no, actually, YouTube also feeds the audio through YouTube Music. If you use YouTube Music for your podcasting for some reason,
that's the official Google podcast player for Android now, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
They got rid of Google Podcast, a perfectly good Google podcast player.
Also, unfortunately, the video version is not going to appear on Apple because Apple and Spotify beef. So, bummer.
Boo.
Womp womp. Maybe that'll change. Anyway, and then what else? We check out
we got the handheld thing.
Yeah, Expedition Handheld. Me and Russ from Retro Game Core talking about handheld gaming devices, including ones that run Linux. So maybe you've got some crossover there.
You got your Ioneos.
Yeah, well, Ioneo is like in the news every week, pretty much, for better or worse. The Full Nerd podcast, where we offer level-headed takes on PC building news.
Yeah, that's the nicest thing anybody's ever said about us.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to lean into it.
Just write it.
Yeah.
We also have another new podcast in the Full Nerd Network this week, right?
This week? Oh yeah, it's already up.
It's up.
Yeah, you should check it out. There's a funny April Fools.
I think no. Don't sell it like that.
That's how it was sold to Elena.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, I think Elena maybe was the one who came up with it.
But yeah, this is the thing that I've wanted since we started doing the Full Nerd newsletter.
Yeah,
which is the newsletter is the official podcast of the newsletter. It's the official news. See, I messed this up.
The newsletter,
it's the official newsletter of the podcast.
Yeah,
and now there's an audio version of the newsletter. So it's the Full Nerd, the official newsletter of the podcast. The podcast. Yeah. Perfectly cromulent name.
Yeah, go check it out.
Listen
it was funny.
it.
Please leave thumbs up, comment all over that thing if you want Elaine to continue to do that, because we just love bomb it.
Yeah. We want more of that.
Yeah.
And if that goes well, we'll make a newsletter about the podcast about the newsletter about the podcast.
Okay, that's too much.
Then Inception.
All right, we need to get out of here.
Yeah, the carbon dioxide's building. I'm
way
getting
too
real
much.
Sleepy.
Anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Adam.
It is fun sometimes to go over stuff live.
Yeah,
I think when we do the episodes remote, we should explore the.
Well, now we have the
sharing our
technology
screen
to
stuff.
share our screens.
Yeah,
and we can I would like to give people a tour of why I like Neri and show it rather than tell.
Yeah, be like, oh hey, look, it broke.
Look at all the
live on demo.
It really never happens except for
all the time.
The whole point of the podcast is to talk about things that don't work.
Yeah, like Neri. There you go. Don't install it. Anyway, thanks everybody. Always be vibe coding.
DNFing.
Just kidding. No, always be DNFing. I don't know what that
means.
means.
Whatever.
Yeah, powering probably sounds better.
Yeah, DNFing sounds naughty.
Nope.
Bye, everybody.